those seasons.
Okay. I heard sort of more like sort of 300,000 or 400,000 for the whole lot.
Wow.
Yeah. We did it one of those big super slow mo cameras. You know those ones that shoot 1,000 frames a second.
Sweet Caroline belts out around UTAS Stadium as it did on Saturday night, but it does again for this big encounter between Tasmanian senior side and the Calder United senior side as well. A much anticipated game here at UTAS Stadium. My name is Paul Hunt. Joining me to my left is Andrew Cooling. Thought we were going to have a bit more of a preview, but once again the game is starting on time here. In fact, potentially a minute early, which is a rarity. We'll go through the team sheets in a second, but we are underway, and it's Eddie Michael with the first touch in anger, who gets fouled after playing that ball. But Andrew Cooling, welcome, and what are you expecting here this afternoon?
I'm expecting the Tassie girls to put in a fair dip here. I think it's always a good occasion when the state group get together for these games. They might not be able to train together all that often, but I think you can question the desire and the passion they'll show out there. Whether they have the technical abilities against such strong opposition, we'll see. But a great opportunity early on here. Big chance if she's onside into the post. But the flag was raised on Bonnie Davies, and I think she was well aware of that fact. Technical abilities against such strong opposition, we'll see. But a great opportunity early on here. Big chance if she's
onside. A little too early, but there was a large amount of space there for Bonnie Davies, the Golden Boot winner in the Women's Super League of Tasmania last year. Getting a good early sight up as Calder United start to bring the ball out from the back. Looking forward towards the captain, Sinclair.
Lovely in a team with Laura Davis and Bonnie Davies. It's Maddie O'Brien in the number 09. The number 9. Maddie O'Brien just rocking the number 9 and just sitting at centre back.
The defender in me just can't quite really get around that, unfortunately. I thought that was Kendall Philly asking for something more important as Bonnie Davies charges that one down. That one cleared by the fence, so we'll quickly go through just probably in numerical order. We'll probably see less subs in this game than we did in the previous one. But, yeah, a few number changes as well, so I might even hold off because luckily, you know, us experienced commentators here in Tasmania have got to know a few of the players from commentary over the years, and there's a couple of number changes we're going to quickly work through. But it's Harriet Withers for Calder United striding forward. Taranto laying that one out. Centre of the park. Calder continuing to move forward. Plenty of W League experience in this side. Dakic down towards Sporanovic. And again, we've got a number 9 in centre back for Tassie and a number 2 up top for Calder United. It is all a bit weird, but that is Laura Sporanovic's normal number. This will now be recycled through defence.
Good pedigree in Australian football, the Sporanovic name.
Absolutely, is a relation to Matt. Laura Sporanovic, obviously a few years at Melbourne Victory under her belt, as well as a few years at Calder United in addition, as that one bobs up high in the air. Sinclair is Withers and Sporanovic up ahead, but lays it back to Taranto. Lovely slide rule ball, and the shot scuffed with Maddie O'Brien coming across in defence. An early take for Izzy Atavi. The Western/Calder United fan group really makes some noise on the drums. Good to see them out supporting and getting into the ground early. Seen this being played before an A-League game between Western United and Wellington Phoenix.
The old curtain raiser. And, second game for the day. The under-19 Tasmanians and Calder United side played out game earlier. A 5-1 victory to Calder. Some pretty spectacular goals in that one. So we'll see if that continues here in game number 2 of the pre-game for the A-League. That's a nice little switching ball from Byrne out there. O'Brien just put it in behind though of Withers on that occasion, and now Tasmania will look to take it away on the right hand side, but just leaving that one behind unfortunately. Just a little too casual there.
Ray mistouch there from Pish Choi. O'Brien sent it towards Taranto. Only has Withers up ahead, but tries to go around the outside of Eddie Michael. And good covering defence there from the Olympia Warriors stalwart.
So Canageser at right back by the looks of it. Marmion at left back, and then Olahead and O'Brien the back four for Tasmania in this one. Pretty solid bunch.
Very solid bunch, also very attacking bunch too, should Tasmania decide to get on the front foot. So used to seeing Canageser as a winger. Marmion's played further forward, and Olahead was the striker for Beachside in the Southern Championship last year. So plenty of attacking firepower there as the ball swings wide for Calder. Now up to Sporanovic. Lovely ball for Sinclair, but well cut out from the Tasmanian defence. Ronnie Davies there in 17. Now Chambers. Well cut out from Sinclair, and Taranto at the centre of the park. And it is Byrne out towards Harriet Withers. Cutting inside is Withers and launching that one from range. Atavi getting a body behind that one well. A bit of an odd feeling here for Harriet Withers, having worn the sky blue of Melbourne City the last few weeks in the W League season, converting back to the green and black for the NPLW season, now playing against sky blue.
Yeah, just flipping things on its head there as this one's across to Sardo. Well, just take a time on the ball and now look to play a 1-2, but Matty Chambers able to break that up and was surely fouled. Referee allows play to continue, and Chambers battling on pretty well, has no support whatsoever to speak of though, just needs some runners in midfield to get around her and give her an option there. None forthcoming. Calder on the attack, the excellent Innie Michael, who will just park herself in front of the back four and be that ever reliable shield in front of them, breaking that one up. Get used to that. She's one of the best players in the state, has been for a number of years now. Innie Michael going to be vital for the chances today of keeping out this dangerous Calder side. As a slight miscommunication there at the back, and Dakic sees it run out of play in front of her, and Tassie with the throw-in opportunity. Pretty cagey old opening to this one thus far.
It certainly is. There's another mistouch there from Choi. Good clearing header there from Olahead. Becoming a Tasmanian today, Canadian by birth. Recently came to the States about 2 years ago. So it's a lovely through ball towards Alex Sinclair. First time in behind goal for Sinclair, but well saved from Atavi. Was looking to go towards the far post, and O'Brien can turn and charge forward.
Glad to see the return of Izzy Atavi since I've left the game and just come back in the recent times. Glad to see her name on the team sheet. The sweeper keeper, an absolute favourite, is Izzy Atavi. Just toes the line between eccentricity and high danger at times, but geez, it's entertaining.
Yeah, I was discussing on the weekend about that, and did discover if it was a football manager player, Izzy Atavi, eccentricity definitely a 20, but sometimes you take that risk because can pull off some fantastic saves and might be called into action here. Sporanovic up against Marmion. Now Sardo right into the head of the Tasmanian player. It's Leah Galb there tracking back. That one will fall towards Galb. Now Davies finally getting a good touch on the ball. Still going. Here's Bonnie Davies trying to stay on sides. Laura Davis. Now out towards Sardo. Sporanovic trying to turn around Marmion. Michael. O'Brien deciding to clear that one first time. Now Galb, not used to having pressure from all sides there when picking the ball up in the park, is Leah Galb. Scored an absolute fantastic free kick here at UTAS on Saturday afternoon. The first goal in Olympia Warriors win over Launceston City. Launceston United, I should say. Sardo. Exchanging passes with centre back. That one forward to Taranto. Alyssa Taranto being 16, Adriana 15. There's Alex Sinclair. Towards Sardo. Gub. Pressing high on Alyssa Taranto, but that might cause some space out wide. Withers Lets it run towards a teammate, using the 2-on-1 here well as Calder, as Withers charges into the box. Harriet Withers still going, gets a shot off, but goes near post and leaves that one for a goal kick. Harriet Withers, if she's playing on that left wing, might to switch it over to a favourite player of yours from men's football, Andrew, calling a bit of Arjen Robin.
Oh, the cut
about cut
inside,
in.
man.
Yeah, I reckon if she's playing on that left-hand side, you'll be seeing plenty of cutting in here in this first half, as Harvey puts a hand up in apology for that kick out, but does still fall Tasmania's way.
So switching this one into midfield, a nice little ball there, and see if they can build down this right-hand side through Kanagaza. Just tried to cut back inside of Withers, who toes that one out of play. Looks like Davies and Davis leading the line for Tasmania this afternoon. There'll be a handful if they can get them the service. At the moment, through 10 minutes, Calder shading things, but Tasmania looking fairly comfortable out there in possession. They've been able to get on the ball. All ahead now just pulls the trigger and sends it long. Looking for Davis. He'll turn. Don't have a lot of support, and in the end, I think the throw's been given to Calder here, which I'm not sure how, but anyway, the throw will be taken by Sardo. As this one's thrown in short. Davis and Davies so prolific over the last few years in the Women's Super League, those two playing together up top today. Plenty of goal scoring now between the pair. Davies out after this one, but O'Brien sees it away from her. Sun shining in UTAS Stadium. Lovely conditions for football. Tasmania and Calder United with the A-League game to follow, as Calder running through the middle here, but Tasmania doing a pretty good job holding their structure. This one stroked in the middle. Sporanovic knocked it back. Intercepted. Seems like Chambers playing out on the left, but has drifted in pretty centrally, pretty frequently throughout this first 11 or so minutes.
I was trying to work out the Tasmanian formation there. It's definitely a flat back four, but almost looks like that kind of narrow 4-4-2 diamond. As that one gets over the top towards Sinclair, and the Tavi gets a palm on it, but it'll cruelly roll underneath the keeper and into the back of the net for the first goal of the afternoon. Sinclair bundling that one home to make it 1-0 to Calder United. The captain coming up drops with the first real shot in anger of this game, and a little bit unlucky there for the keeper.
Yeah, desperately stiff here. Tavi gets a hand to it, just not quite enough to keep it out. Kanagaza desperately trying to get back on the line, but unfortunately too much pace on it, and Calder draw first blood here. Tasmania reasonably comfortable handling what was thrown at them, but they cut apart a bit too easy there. Can the host generate a response here? As Calder heavy favourites in this one. As we mentioned, a similar thing with the under-19s earlier. The team that trains and plays together every week is going to be a lot more cohesive than a bunch of players just kind of slapped together in an all-star squad. Brilliant tackle that from Annie Michael, who would have been the first player picked, I reckon. Annie Michael, what a star she is. Just such a dominant two-way player. Does it defensively, can jump up into the attack and spark things.
And it was the absolute engine room of the Warriors on the weekend as well. Covered so much ground, almost seemed to enjoy the wide, expansive pitch we have here at UTAS Stadium this afternoon. Hopefully get to see her in an attacking sense as well. Looks to be playing a real holding midfield type role for the moment. As just before that goal was scored, I was going to go on a tangent about how it looks like Tassie playing almost a 4-4-2 diamond in the midfield, with how much Chambers is tucking in, and Choi, who's naturally a centre midfielder, a centre attacking midfielder, and Gubb is certainly pushing up higher than Nini Michael.
It does seem a bit like that. You got at the base of the diamond Michael, and then Gubb is probably a more traditional kind of number 10, and then Chambers and Choi is kind of left and right central midfielders, shifting out wide when required. So I'm just looking to protect the middle of what is a very big pitch.
Yeah, we were commenting before in the under-19s game. If you weren't tuning in, pitch dimensions say 105 by 68, which is certainly about as large as you'll get in the Tasmanian field as the cross comes in, but no one home. Sporanovic not quite keeping up with the teammate to begin with. The one thing I do like about Calder United, really laying out the first team lineup here. Not really too many players who weren't playing on the weekend against South Melbourne, a 3-2 loss to Calder on the weekend. South Melbourne these days featuring 3 Tasmanians in their lineup. Freya Crocker, Amy Medwin and Lucy Johnson, score of another couple of worldies in that game. But now Calder look to go the other way through Taranto. Cross charged down by Canagisa. Laura Davis, a willing runner up against O'Brien. Comfortably dealt with in the end. As Calder continue to break. That one's just out of play, surely, and is, but Calder United only really at the services of their players who'd only just finished in the W League. At least I'm expecting the likes of Catherine Zimmerman and maybe Angie Beard to rejoin Calder at some point, winning the W League a couple of weeks ago. A full strength lineup brought here by Calder.
Quite a good test for all the Tasmanians. Stiff opposition. It's a team from a very strong league, the NPL W Open Victoria. Very good standard competition as O'Brien knocks this one back to Atavi. It's just a little casual, but well, then got taken far too casually by Olahead, and Atavi sweeps it out of play, and they've given up the ball really an area of the pitch. They didn't need to there. They had a 3-on-1 basically, and they've just got a gifted in possession there. Just a little indecisive at the back. Maybe that's a symptom of there was nothing up ahead, I'm not too sure, but the cross swung in, just eludes innocent Michael. Choi working back, but had her pocket picked in there by Grober, but kept fighting on nicely. Pishon Choi couldn't quite get around Taranto of the Melissa variety though, who then looks to spring one in behind. It was well defended by Canagisa, but again, Tasmania just rinse and repeat, turning the ball over on the way out. And Calder are sweating on them and pressing up and winning the ball back high up the pitch. And trying to play out here, Tassie, but just been unable to do so the last couple of times. Will they fare a little better here? Canagisa to Choi. Well, Choi got caught in two minds between playing the return ball and shifting outright, and in the end, just rather ceded possession as Calder will take over through Sardo.
Calder continuing to apply the pressure. Innie Michael with another touch. Lovely turn to get around her opponent. Trying to play in her club teammate in Davis or Chambers, and manages to split both of them. As one loose pass by Marmion. Maddie Chambers will be going interstate soon, joining the American college system over in Alabama in a few months. Bonnie Davies rumoured to be moving interstate as well. The list of Tasmanians leaving these shores is growing by the year to seek a bit of a higher level, as Sinclair adjudged offside there. This team from players solely in the Women's Super League and even the Championship in the case of a few players. A few of them we'll probably see off the bench at some point later in the game, as I do think in that 1-2 play earlier, I just don't think Tasmanians are used to some of the pace of Harriet Withers tracking back.
Yes.
It's got supreme pace, does Withers, and just not quite used to that at the level you get in Tasmania on a weekly basis. As they look to build here, Calder. Out to O'Brien. Now Withers. Looking for the run of Sporanovic. Fall back to Taranto. Sardo pushed far up from fullback. Well read there by Byrne. Now Sporanovic. No one yet in the box, but they're starting to arrive and nearly returned it back to Byrne. Marmion lobbing that one over nicely. Some experience in NPLW up in Queensland. Blue Marmion. Now Choi. Olahead, charged down by Sinclair. Spin will go fortuitously for Laura Sporanovic. Lovely ball out towards O'Brien. Can she keep it in? Not quite. And after 18 minutes, Tasmania have looked pretty settled here, certainly compared to the under-19 team earlier. Maybe just that experience of these players have got. But outside of that one shot, Calder, well, they've had the majority of possession. It's been really the only shot so far.
Yeah, one that went past the near post and then the goal. Really, it's been all we've had in the way of chances through the first 20 minutes. Calder doing the bulk of the attacking. Just maybe have had their moments, but by large, Davies and Davis have cut fairly isolated figures up top. They've not been able to get on the end of their midfield or defence's work. Here's Gatavi, a sweeper keeper. I think she'll have the opportunity to do too much sweeping today. You'd imagine it'll be a fairly deep line employed by the Tasmanians for the most part. Pegged back throughout much of the opening 20 minutes here. As strolling out from the back is O'Brien. Michael dropping in deep. And that was just very, very sloppy, really. Just gifting the ball back to Calder. Can't afford to be doing that, really. And they're not punished for it as Michael looks to step in and win it back with strength. She does just that, and what I love about when she wins the ball, immediately looks to launch it forward to a target, get it moving. It's not sideways or backwards. She shows great intent every time she attacks the ball in St Michael.
Particularly based on that, I want Bonnie Davies just to even step up another 5 or 6 yards here as well. Just really play off the shoulder of the last defence, especially if you know if that's what your teammate in Henny Michael was going to do. Just lob that one forward. I'd be sitting out. Pacey striker up on their defenders. As O'Brien goes for a run forward. Well blocked out there by Canagiza.
Yeah, they're behind her out to the wide areas. Obviously plenty of width to operate in here too. And Davis and Davies were very pacey operators. As the first mass change is about to occur here. Let's see. Looks like we've got Robinson. We've got Nellis. We've got Zoe Nichols. We've got Ellie Kropp. And we've got Chelsea Dolble coming on. And sneaking on for Calder is Grover. So, Dazzy just going to ring the 5. And if you're thinking that's a little bit odd, yes it is, but they've pretty much got unlimited. I think it's 11, did you say, Paul, you think? Or?
Yeah, it's either 11 substitutions or just complete interchange.
Yeah.
As a few defenders striding on there, really running to get back in position there. Emily Nellis having to really get a sprint on to get back in position, but I think the referee, James Hamilton, will let the players get in position.
I think, if it's 11, they'll use half of them here and then probably halfway through the second half, pull another similar type sub.
Now that I think about it, it was interchange in that under-19s game because there was more than 11 subs made, so I reckon it's interchange.
Yeah, there's every chance it is. And I think they're allowed to make as many changes as they want at half-time. It might be 11 in play and as many as you want at the break, something like that. It's just an exhibition match, this one, so the usual rules not applying for those wondering why we've just had 5 players rush the field. Henny Michael. That one was shot down. One back there by Taranto. They'll look to get in behind down the left here. Turn of pace, but Innocent Michael, who has just been the shield for this defence early on, was across there once more. First involvement for Robinson. Back to Michael. Tasmanians want to play through. Play out from the back, but it's proving a little difficult. Back inside to Ellie Kropp. Her first involvement is a positive one. Knocks it to Robinson, sends it down the line. There's an opportunity for Davis to go chasing. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. Michael again. In Tasmania's best early on, but she gifts this one away. Intercepted. Michael nods on. Kropp tried to get past a couple, couldn't do so. Robinson stepped in decisively. Turning is Taranto. Retreats back to the goalkeeper. Slightly under hit ball. Will put a little bit of pressure on Sardo. Taranto. Knocked it back to Hasten. Quite content just to patiently knock it around the back, try and pull a few Tasmania players out of position on this wide pitch, open up a gap as they have completed the switch, and they'll now attack down the left, and with some verve too, just allowed to go here. Still going, slides it through. Numbers there for Tasmania, should be able to clear the area. Nellis and Michael step in, and eventually O'Brien. Played to Kropp, it was a little bit ugly, and they've conceded a free kick.
Lovely bit of skill there from Sinclair, just whipping out the roller coaster, drawing the challenge from the Tasmanian defender. But yeah, that plethora of changes by Tasmania. It might take a minute or two for some cohesion We're just figuring out where on earth everyone's gone. We saw that in one of the chances in the under-19s game where it didn't seem like there was a left winger and Calder just had 2 players lining up for a shot. Everyone seems back for this set piece. 2 full 6 players in the box for Calder as this one goes lofted over the top, over the head of the keeper and knocked home. And it looks like Sinclair with a double. 18 again striking. Once again we've seen a keeper come out for Tasmania and not claim. And that is the second for Calder. They double their advantage early in this first half.
Yeah, it was a good ball. Slightly overhit perhaps, and she's just misjudged that Atavi and run clean underneath it. Sinclair on hand to punish her, but big fan of the sweeper keeper, but got to be pointing the finger there on that one, unfortunately. That was there for the taking, and just a little too eager and ran underneath the thing.
Absolutely, as we see Zoe Nichols win the free kick for Tassie, and they decide to take it short, not opting to get a few bodies forward. Henny Michael. Lovely diagonal ball towards Marmion. And he just couldn't quite hit the pass towards a teammate. Now Withers. Sardo. Continuing to switch the play well at Calder. Byrne and Zakic doing well. Charging in there. And again diving in. Robinson there on the far side. And Sardo. Withers has now gone from left flank to right flank, and that's a lovely ball as 2 waiting at the back post, but may have just let that run a bit too long, Withers, and had indeed, and that's gone out of play for a goal kick. Just hesitated on crossing that one first time, did Withers. And it's a pretty true surface out there at UTAS Stadium. A few of the A-League players for Western United commenting on it, saying it's the best pitch they've played on all year. So it's a very good surface out there.
Wouldn't have been used a whole lot this year, I wouldn't have thought, so it should be in good condition.
It certainly hasn't had the work of an Amy Park or even Ballarat up there, or any of the other main A-League grounds. Yeah, now you mention it, it has been on there in the last 6 months since there would have been a drop-in game for Big Bash.
Yeah, that would be the last thing I can remember.
And they had a couple of games there in the hub-ish style setup they had for that.
That was December.
Particular competition. It was Bonnie Davies trying to apply some pressure and get on the action. That's a lovely ball out left. Nellis should be able to comfortably clear that one. Roughly into the part of the grandstand where she was sitting on Saturday night.
No nonsense type defender is Nellis. Been a reliable figure. Had that period there a couple of years where she just didn't lose a football game. One of the great streaks.
Nearly, I think it was like 2 years or something like that between undefeated Ulverston season and undefeated Zebra season, and lost like a cup game.
Yeah.
About 2 years as the deflected cross comes in. She'll be well dealt with by the defence and knocked out from Ellie Crop. Now playing in a couple of championship level players included in this Tasmanian lineup as well. The 2 Ulverston players being there. Is that cross? I don't think has taken a deflection. That is just out for a goal kick. The Taruna players as well, who played in the championship last year before coming up to the Women's Super League. One of them on the ball now in Atavi.
Drop that one short and putting Ellis under the gun. Invited danger there from Withers.
Withers gets someone out for a corner. Just seeing some of the playing out from the back for Tasmania here today. Both sides causing a few more hassles than need be.
Yeah, just been a little untidy with some of the passing out from the back, hasn't it? And it's just invited a bit of danger. It's going to be Adriana Taranto to take this. All hands on deck for Tasmania to defend the situation. As already having scored at 2, just looking around the back, threatening to find the hat-trick with Sinclair, but a bit too deep was the corner. Definitely not someone they can afford to leave alone.
Definitely not, as really haven't had either of Tasmania's strikers touch the ball for quite some time. And Davis and Davies really isolated there, as it is Laura Davis trying to get back and get a touch on the ball, but leaving that one in play. Eventually. Still not winning the throw-in. Is the good high pressure there from O'Brien. Now charges forward. Only has Withers in the box. Coles for a penalty. And I think it's going to be a free kick just outside the area from referee Hamilton.
O'Brien weaving. Oh, yikes.
I think that's just inside the box, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I suppose if the contact started outside, but yeah, might have just dodged a bullet there, Tassie, I reckon. So Brian showing some wonderful dribbling skills there, weaving one way then the other. The defence couldn't stop her, and probably lucky not to have conceded the spot kick.
I reckon, and I reckon the shot might be on here in this discussion that the free kick takers are having.
Just curl it to the back post, maybe. This could be the option. Oh, through and bundled home in the end by Grober. But the referee, I think, has gone protected species rule applies.
Yeah, must have. I was busy looking to see who tapped that in. As we got the replay function here this afternoon. As Atavi, handball on whoever that was running in the box. Dakic, I think it was, charging in.
Yep.
Makes it right on the left arm as Calder make a substitution.
Grober had struck it home, but not to be, so it remains 2-0. But after a pretty positive first 10 minutes, it has all really been one-way traffic for Calder, and it's not going so swimmingly for Tasmania right now. They've scarcely got in their attacking half, and they've gifted them the ball, and they're almost punished as the woodworkers rattle once more. It's falling apart at the back here for Tasmania. Can they hold on to half-time? They're under siege at the moment. Here's Davies, who's barely been sighted the ball, just not getting up to her. Tremendous work in midfield from Zoe Nichols, though. She's just swathing through the middle of UTAS Stadium. Sends it out to the right. A couple in the middle here. Need to get the ball into the box. Oh, lovely dribbling skills. The chance now, perhaps, for a cross. Knocked it back. And Calder are going to be able to get out of trouble. And that's about as positive as it's been for Tasmania in 20-25 minutes, Paul.
It certainly has. It just took the attacking impetus of Zoe Nichols there to try and create something. Davis and Robinson doing okay as we see another triple sub. It's Bonnie Davies, one of the players coming off.
So it's going to be Gubb, White, and
Lucy Reimer's come on.
Lucy Reimer's the third one coming on. Innie Michael coming off. That worries me, Paul.
It does.
I know they've probably got set rotations, but
yeah.
If I'm running shows at Jake, you're sitting in front of the back four for the full 90, Innie.
Yep. Yeah, would be the last player I would take off as well, Eddie Michael, and I think the first 32 minutes has really shown that. Has definitely got the skills. As Eddie Michael, as you mentioned, been pretty much the best player in the state the last 4 or 5 years. As that one knocked forward by Gubb, who looks to be playing more in that holding role. Now Calder go the shot the first time, and that one harmlessly over the bar.
We saw 3 spectacular goals in the under-19s game. Long-range shots. One of the keeper chipped even, about 40 yards out, and the other 2 were pretty good strikes too, from around about 25, 30 yards. There's some spectacular goals scored from the Calder United 19s.
Just confirming it's Corey Kane that's come on for Calder, the American, getting a few minutes, who you can currently see just exiting the centre circle. Tasmania. Ball through Gubb. We ever get a chance for a long-range free kick, I'll expect Long Bomb Leah, as we've dubbed her here at Slice of Cheese, to be right over any set pieces from that kind of range, as Robinson does well. Jasmine White getting her first touch of the ball. So that one's launched forward, well cleared by O'Brien.
It's better though. Chip balls over the top, use your pace, get a throw in up the field, worst case. We need to see a little bit more of that. The ball just to Davis and Davies into those corners, the channels. Give them something to chase after. Their leg speed is such a strength. Gubb walked that one forward, but well shut down. Tasmania enjoying a spell in their attacking half, really, for the first time in a while, but they've coughed it up once more. Calder defence being put under some pressure here, though. They'll win the ball back, and I think the offside flag had been raised, unfortunately, for the locals.
Just trying to track back and defend there. Jasmine White forming a double team there with Zoe Nichols in trying to charge down. The Calder United defence starting to press a bit higher up, as you can see. Lucy Reimer applying the press. The ball out wide towards Sardo, who's got plenty of space on that left-hand side. Nellis just getting a touch to it in front of Harriet Withers, who will probably let it go out for a corner. No, she doesn't. Decides to keep it in. Lays it back towards Sinclair. Sardo. Chip ball goes over the head of the defence, and Taranto, maybe she wasn't quite expecting that one to come through to her. O'Brien just underneath that one. Had a good chance there with the first time volley, did Taranto.
What a cross. Put her on a dime for her. Perfectly over the head of the centre-back. Right to the feet of the attacker. That is silver service. The type of service that I reckon Davies and Davis would just kill for right about now.
Absolutely. We should mention there's about 6 players in this Calder side who've got W League experience. One of them on the ball now in Harriet Withers has Sinclair in the box at the near post, but Atavi coming out well. As we mentioned, the sweeper keeper, it means she's got a great first couple of yards of pace, and it came into effect there. Izzy Atavi and just Spiranovic, Withers, both the Taranto sisters, Sardo as well, all having some W League experience. And we see Zakic, plenty of time to size up a pass. Corey Kane, American, who came out before COVID hit, decided to stick around and trying to follow the same path as a former teammate, Catherine Zimmerman, coming out from America, playing for Calder, and then hoping for that step up towards the W League. It's a good touch from Robinson. Hailing from Liverpool, Jess Robinson. Now Zoe Nichols. Quite getting the touch, and Byrne lays it out to O'Brien. Ball just eluding the Tasmanian defence. Sinclair's making a nice near post run, and just tracking back in time there is Nellis in front of Taranto. Sinclair with both hands on her head. I think she knew how good a run she'd made towards the near post there.
We touched on it in the early game. We're seeing it again now, just the cohesion and the knowledge of where teammates are running to. It's chalk and cheese between the Tasmanians and Calder, and that just comes from playing together. I mean, these Calder girls play together every week. They know the runs their teammates are making. They're playing balls into space, knowing someone will make that run. It's just not quite the same when it's flipped for Tasmania, as Calder will look to have a hit from range here. I reckon they crossed the line. Oh, the keeper, Izzy Atavi's gone full Joe Hart and going, nah, didn't cross the line, play on. I reckon it did, Paul.
I reckon it did too. I completely reckon it did. Definitely crossed the line on first viewing. We'll see how our super slow-mo capabilities with the camera are to have a look at that one, but when that bounced, I think it was over the line. Izzy Atavi there, doing her best Roy Carroll impersonation to give even Nisha older English goalkeeper reference. And Zoe Nichols now striding forward, playing a lovely through ball into space, but just going to elude the run of Jasmine White, who's got fantastic pace. Great to see Jazz back playing the game, had most of last year off. Back in action again, the original speedster of the Women's Super League, Jasmine White. Nearly called her Jasmine Gorry then. Old habits die hard still.
Yeah, well, it's for the last time we were consistently commentating her games was back when she was banging in 2 goals every game for fun. She scored 38 in a season or something obscene like that. Let's have a look at the replay here. That is an absolute rocket. Jeez, it's hard to tell. Definitely, I don't know if definitely part of the ball was across. Wasn't the whole ball?
Definitely.
Hard to know, but jeez, that was a rocket of a shot. Here we go again.
Yeah, if we can get it in slow-mo from about now, that'd be fab. Lomarmian's just taking a throw-in, nothing down there.
Nothing the keeper can do there.
Oh, I think that's on the line. That's a great decision as we'll come back to Withers.
Apologies to the AR. He got that spot on.
And that chip ball now falling. Easy volley, but well blocked there. One of the opposing number 15, Taranto's been sneaking further forward as the game goes on. forgot the name of who the AR is on that near touchline. It was a fantastic decision.
Better eyes than I've got, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely better than mine. It was a great call from the assistant referee. Looking resplendent in their new refereeing kits that arrived last week, thanks to Conquer, My State and Banjos for hooking them up.
Definition of a ferocious strike, that one. It was some serious venom.
Absolutely. It was Withers up against Marmion. Now Nellis. Plenty of time here for Ellie Crop. Looking towards Nichols. Now Lucy Reimer flicks it towards Zoe Nichols, who's got space to run into. Does Nichols. Sardo coming across with a crunching challenge. Nichols with a nudge in the back. Does win the throw in for a side, but as Nichols just got it on the hop towards Reimer. Going to charge that one down, and Sinclair can't keep that one in. Marmion quickly towards Nichols. Second event coming across to stop Zoe Nichols in her tracks. Not unlike my good self last night.
Oh, imperious, Paul. Imperious last night.
Seen a few of those blocks in the last 24 hours of Zoe Nichols. And this time, Calder just get out there and don't particularly disagree with Byrne there wanting a free kick. Not particularly happy about the look of that challenge, despite getting the pass off. And that's well intercepted by Tasmania on that occasion, but just had a bit more time to take a touch there. I think that's Leah Gubb. And now it's a 2v1 here as Withers. I thought Sinclair had gone a smidge early. Flag stays down. Sinclair, what a save from Atavi. Going for the hat-trick was the captain, Alex Sinclair. And that is a fantastic save from Izzy Atavi.
Yeah, that's top-class goalkeeping. That's why she got the nod. That's just a great reaction save at full stretch. So she was an eccentric customer we saw running under the ball on the first goal. But there is the other side of it. There's the quality Izzy Atavi has and saves what looked a certain goal there with a great piece of keeping.
When I said the eccentricity ratings are 20, the one-on-ones and reflexes is probably also up there as well from Izzy Atavi. That's the benefits you get. Really coming out there and keeping it at 2-0. There's the chip through ball. Again, just over the head of the Tasmanian defence. O'Brien, this time well cut off on the far sideline, but it's since the last round of substitutions for Tassie, they've had a bit more attacking play. It hasn't really been all Calder, despite that free kick that rattled the crossbar. As they'll have another chance here through Withers. Plenty of time to size up the cross. Well cleared from Ellie Crop.
Having some trouble with Harriet Withers, aren't they? She's running him a bath at the moment.
I mean, but to be fair, not the only players who have a bit of issue with Harriet Withers. She's been their main attacking outlet in the 2 NPLW games so far this season. Scored on the weekend against South Melbourne.
Top quality player.
Izzy Atavi's come out for this one and will comfortably collect in the end. The attacker for Calder going for the chip header, which is often a difficult skill to manoeuvre, as I'm not sure about the rollout with 2 Calder players in close proximity. Corey Kane, I think that is, on the ball on the far side. He's now up ahead. Coming across. Defending well there is Zoe Nichols all the way back in defence. Really see Zoe that far back, usually playing as a striker or at worst number 10 for the Clarence Zebras. Trying to help that one on as Robinson. And Calder through Julia Sardo. They're doing that really well to Calder, just playing into the midfield in order to get it out to the other centre back so they can spread the play. And you can see, starting to get used to those runs. As O'Brien comes across the shield. So far come off a Calder United player last, but manages to keep the ball in play. And a shocking amount of spin on it. That one should go out for a throw in. You can hear some noise in the background. Where the cameraman is operating from is the main control booth, and I guarantee you there'll be some Fox Sports staff up there just making sure everything works for the game after this. At least that was certainly my experience on Saturday afternoon, as that ball's magically still in play. And I think Nellis will go safety first here and whack that into touch. It trickled across the goal line there.
O'Brien just damn weird angle, but just keeping the ball at her feet and keeping it in. It's pretty impressive stuff there, and really operating in a phone box type of environment, really. No room to manoeuvre. Did quite well. So we're just about at half time, and our officials have shown absolutely no inclination to play additional time thus far this afternoon. We'll see if they roll with any in this one, or whether we'll be straight into the sheds. I suspect it'll be the latter, but remains to be seen. They weren't messing about in the under-19s, that's for sure. Apparently no stoppages in that game, as this one's just chipped into the middle. Calder will be quite content to head to the break with a 2-0 lead. And they've been good value for it, really. There's been some good industry shown from the Tasmanians, but ultimately the class of Calder has shone through and just overwhelmed them a little at the back. And some good moments and some positives to draw, but ultimately step up in class proving difficult for the hosts. It's really what all the players out there need. More of these type of games against top quality opposition. It's the only way to improve as a footballer, really.
Yeah, it really is. And you can see there's some good individual skills for the Tasmanians. It's just knowing where your teammate's making a run. Not too many of these players have ever played before. I doubt, Blue Marmions ever played with Jasmine White before.
Seems unlikely.
Thought that was the best example I could come up with there, as ball now out wide to the far sideline. Defence there from O'Brien. Oh, lovely flick. Trying to find Robinson, that's moved further ahead, and after 1 minute of stoppage time, the referee blows for half time. Calder United 2-0 to the good. 2 goals by their captain, Alex Sinclair, in the first 25 minutes. Last 20 minutes game was a bit more even. Tasmania starting to get on the ball more. And Calder United head into this one 2-0 to the good. We'll show you the goals. This was the first real shot in anger. It's Harvey got a hand to it, but rolled over the line, making it 1-0. Another couple of shots for Calder, including one that thundered off the crossbar and bounced onto the goal line. And it's been really all one-way traffic for the most part. And I think that was to be expected. As here comes that free kick. It's Harvey coming out, just going overhead. Alex Sinclair not going to miss from there with an open goal. Calder players lining up, and that'll make it 2-0 as we'll probably go to half time. We'll probably expect more changes for Tasmania, and we'll see what happens in this second half between Tasmania and Calder United. We'll be back in about 14 minutes.
Thanks, mate. Nice. Oh, good, thank you. What would that be? Yeah. Better write some stuff down. No piece of paper. Oh.
Technical abilities against such strong opposition, we'll see, but a great opportunity early on here. Big chance if she's onside, into the post with a flag.
Is Byrne out towards Harriet Withers. Cutting inside is Withers and launching that one from range. It's Harvey getting a body behind that one well. 2 years ago, so it's a lovely through ball towards Alex Sinclair. First time in behind goal for Sinclair, but well saved from Harvey. The 2-1 here well as Calder, as Withers charges into the box. Harriet Withers still going, gets a shot off, but goes near post. And 1 or 2 diamonders. That one gets over the top towards Sinclair, and Harvey gets a palm on it, but will cruelly roll underneath the keeper and into the back of the net for the first goal of the afternoon. Sinclair seems back for this set piece. 2 full 6 players in the box for Calder, as this one goes lofted over the top, over the head of the keeper, and knocked home. And it looks like Sinclair with a double. 18 right flank, and that's a lovely ball as 2 waiting at the back post, but may have just let that run a bit too long with us, and Had indeed, and that's gone out of play. Playing some high pressure there from O'Brien. Now charges forward, only has Withers in the box. Coles for a penalty. And I think it's going to be a free kick, just the kick takers are having.
Just curl it to the back post maybe. This could be the option. Oh, through and bundled home in the end by Grober. But the referee, I think, carefully got in there attacking half, and they've gifted them the ball. And they're almost punished as the woodworkers rattle once more. It's falling apart.
Forward by Gubb, who looks to be playing more in that holding role. Now Calder, go to the shot the first time, and that one harmlessly over the bar. Experience, one of them on the ball now in Harriet Withers, has Sinclair in the box at the near post, but Atavi coming out well. As we mentioned, this
Tasmania is Calder will look to have a hit from range here. I reckon that crossed the line. Oh, the keeper.
Here is Withers. I thought Sinclair had gone a smidge early. Flag stays down. Sinclair, what a save from Atavi. Going for the hat-trick.
Player.
It's easy Atavi's come out for this one and will comfortably collect in the end. The
That's where all the new properties go there. Yeah, right. So that gate down the bottom there. Yeah, like that gated community. So it's in there. Nice place. That's pretty good. That's huge. Stefano? You enjoy that? Oh, yeah. You love the soccer? No. Been at it for too long. With all your money, mate, you should be retired. I would be.
V1 here is Withers. I thought Sinclair had gone a smidge early. Flag stays down. Sinclair, what a save! Experience. One of them on the ball now in Harriet Withers has Sinclair in the box at the near post, but Atavi coming out well. As we mentioned, the sweeper keeper, it means she's got a great first. The free kick takers are having.
Just curl it to the back post, maybe. This could be the option. Oh, through and bundled home in the end by Grober. Now they've scarcely got in their attacking half, and they've gifted them the ball, and they're almost punished as the woodworkers rattle once more. It's falling apart at the back here for Tasmania. Can they hold on to half time?
Knocked forward by Gubb, who looks to be playing more in that holding role. Now Calder go to the shot the first time. Experience. One of them on the ball now in Harriet Withers has Sinclair in the box at the near post, but Atavi coming out well. As we mentioned, the sweeper keeper, it means she's got a
flip for Tasmania as Calder will look to have a hit from range here. I reckon they crossed the line. Oh, the keeper, Izzy Atavi's gone full Joe Hart and going, nah, didn't cross the line, play on. I reckon it did, Paul.
I reckon it did too. I completely reckon it did. Definitely crossed the line on first viewing. We'll see how our super slow-mo capabilities with the camera are to have a look at that one, but when that bounce...
I'm all set up. I've got us haven't turned up yet, but all I have to do is plug in. But it's not till 7 o'clock here. It's still good. 5 to 10. Yeah, got 2 hours. Done my exercise for the day. Yeah, they did the same to me. Oh well, what's going on there? No. Yes. I like to have a proper look at those, particularly to get a lot of light coming in. How'd you go with the sun? I saw right now. Did you have a bit of fun there, did you? Yeah, Ashley says, you know, keep it wide, keep it loose. And I go, yeah, but you want to be able to see the action, you know, to some extent. Yeah, exactly. Double hands. Yeah, 2 cameras, 3 cameras, you know. And it makes it hard when you've got to do one camera to, you know, get all the light and all the, you know, sort of interest. Yeah. Really? Alright. Yeah. Luckily I decided to take the gain out. I left the gain. So I was only +6 or something on that yesterday, on Saturday. Camera gain. That's a good camera. It's stunt shot 8, but it's still got great picture, I think. That lens too that I've got that from America. 22 times lens. Double it. These things are image stabilized as well. Yeah, the lenses are image stabilized. Yeah, that's right. They just spend money on making
We on? Alright. And we are back for the second half of action between Tasmania and Calder United here from UTAS Stadium. I would usually begin this half by saying if there's any substitutes, but there's probably been a fair few from both sides, using at least Tasmania going full interchange mode. Calder keeping their subs a bit more standard here as we go through the two goals. If you're just joining in at half-time, Calder 2-0 to the good. Alex Sinclair with both goals. Tassie getting a bit more possession as the half went on, but Calder comfortably in the lead as it looks like will be Taranto to pass it back to Corey Kane. Steadying up this second half. We're probably expecting more of the same. Calder very good in possession. As Tasmania battling away. See Tasmania in the unfamiliar light blue. Usually Tasmanian rep sides, usually in the green, but a bit of a kit clash if that happened this year. So going the light sky blue option as the ball in clear, and Leah Galb in the centre of the park picking it up. Kate Olahead back to Olivia Gardner. Lovely bit of skill there from Minnie Michael, just dropping the shoulder. She's been a classy play for this afternoon as referee James Hamilton has a touch, and that'll cause an uncontested drop ball. Andrew Cooling joining me for this second half. Are you expecting more Calder possession and territory in this second half?
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we went away from the pattern we saw in the first half. Calder looked a cut above, but we'll see if Tasmania can hang around and maybe if they can just spring a counter-attack at some point, pull one back, put a bit of scoreboard pressure on them. You never know, but certainly it's an uphill task ahead of the Tasmanians, and it's not made easier by the mass subbings, meaning you've got different players out there so often. And that cohesiveness issue we've talked about, obviously, from not being able to train together. So they're up against it, but there's plenty of talented individuals out there who can produce that one moment of magic that can often just unlock a game. We saw that coming from the Calder under-19s earlier. They had a lot of possession. It wasn't really translating into clear-cut chances, but there was just some magical shots from long range which did the bulk of the damage, bringing about 3 of the goals. And a few of the Tassie girls out there capable of a long-range hit, so they can pull something out, pull a rabbit out of the hat and get themselves back into this one. Here's a player capable. It's Maddie Chambers, slides through a wonderful ball. That's a great piece of keeping, though, to deny Jasmine White. That's a super save. It was Tasmania's best moment of the game, as the keeper comes up trumps.
Dalla Oste, who you could be forgiven of having turned into a frozen solid there. She's had to do absolutely that little on a pretty cold Launceston evening. Came out firing there and quickly charged down Jasmine White, who's fed through lovely by Maddie Chambers. Minnie Michael goes back to keeper Olivia Gardner. Robinson back towards Michael. Ball looking towards Chambers. Choi. Spin. Just eluding the South Hobart midfielder. Olahead battling away. That's a lovely turn from Harriet Withers. Minnie Michael seems to have dropped into centre back to start this second half. Can't quite find her club teammate in Chambers. As we have a look at that again. White maybe just hesitating a smidge. Just need a bit more loft on that one, as we see another one of our least favourite things in football, the 48th minute substitution. Just do it at half time. But anyway, there's Taranto. Back to Byrne. Allstate getting another touch of the ball, but hitting it straight to the feet of Lucy Reimer. Jasmine White got back onside. Chambers now onside. Maddie Chambers into the box. Bit of a heavy touch. Will now look to cross it back in. There's an option at the back post. Lucy Reimer's there. Now Ellie Crop tries to dig that one out. White doing well to chase back. She'll try to use her pace here, Jasmine White. A bit more attacking intent from the second half from Tassie, which is what we want to see.
I reckon they've offered more threat in the opening 4 minutes here than they did the entire first half. They've had their best chance. They've asked a couple of questions. This is a bright start to the second half from the Tasmanians. It's encouraging. Can they make something count from it? Throw in an advanced position here. Maddie Chambers working at the bottom of the screen. She's been key to the early attacking threat. Playing a slightly more central role than we're used to seeing her fill today, as that one's cleared by Eki. Here's Sinclair just kind of doing her own thing. Just holds up, waits for a little bit of support to arrive. The Tasmanian defence able to see it away, although they're going to be put right back under the pump here as Taranto heads towards goal, slides it through. Couldn't quite spring Sinclair, who's on a hat-trick. He's the Calder skipper after the first half brace. Some nice play here. Kanagiza charging out onto it. Chambers just ran towards her and probably needed to just make the run down the line, though. Again, as we've been harping on about incessantly, just that lack of familiarity with each other probably at play there. So Gub gets back on it.
And all the Tasmanian players have said it in their media duties during the week. Emily Nell said it in The Advocate. Matty Chambers said it on telly last night. They're all aware of it. I was just enjoying the frankly mind-bending prospect of Kanagiza and Chambers sharing a sideline just then. I'm so used to those two being in close proximity, but against each other.
Yes, it was often Chris Hayes' coaching move when they played Olympia, wasn't it? To just deploy Kanagiza at right back on Chambers. Probably why she's got the right back gig here for Tassie today, because she did such a good job of it.
Yeah, used to control the pace of Matty Chambers. Now just trying to work together for probably the first time ever.
Well known as an attacker herself, TK, but a great athlete and tireless worker down the flanks. Has all the skills you need to be a successful fullback. I quite like her in that role. This one's into the middle of the park for Robinson.
All ahead. Just eluding Sinclair there. Back to Eddie Michael. As he pushing up. They're a bit closer to halfway. They were nearly falling to Lucy Reimer, who's a very versatile player. Seen her up front on the wing and played centre back a fair bit last year in the Women's Super League. There's Calder now trying to build up through the back. Dakic. O'Brien pointing where she wanted that one. Now Grober. Corey Kane with a sliding pass through towards O'Brien, who's pushed on further and further forward as this game has progressed. Just eluding the touch of Robinson. Trying to get it out of her feet. Corey Kane wants to get on that right peg and hits it right down. A comfortable chest mark there for Olivia Gardner in goal in this second half. Here's Yatavi in goal in the first. Oh, that one nearly falling fortuitously for Jasmine White. Dakic able to go back to the keeper.
Great closing speed, White bearing down on the keeper there. Very speedy operator. So many of her goals just from sheer pace. Just defenders can't keep up with her. It's put in the open field in front of her. Not many are going to beat her in a foot race. One of the quickest players in the state, Jasmine White. And Davies similar in that regard in terms of just getting their goals just by burning off defenders. Not too many can stick with those two. Calder look to build. Get something going down the right. Slightly more subdued start to this second half for Calder after they really dominated the first 45. Tassie probably shaded the opening exchanges here. It's been a positive response from the hosts, and Calder looking just to re-establish here and get a spell of possession as Kane sends it out wide. Slow build up, but a few creeping forwards now, and they'll chip it into the box. A little flick from Grover didn't quite work. Now the bounce will be telling here. It was a difficult one for Dakic, but she's able to extract herself from a pressure situation. Works it across there to Byrne. Byrne drives it through and splits the defence with a dangerous looking ball that almost found Grover. But Gardner just getting there in time.
Just before there with Reimer and White, you'd expect if they were teammates, one would have attacked the player and one would have nipped in behind, but both just sort of hesitating and both wanting to do the same thing, which is probably what they both do for their club sides. As Withers now on the right-hand side up against Dollarhead. The Canadian doing well against Harriet Withers, who played plenty of time in the American college system. It'll be a Tasmanian throw-in.
The second Canadian to play for Tasmania, Nikki G might have played for Tassie at some
I
point?
think so. I think she did.
I think I remember a game where Giansopoulos kept for Tasmania.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't mind naturalising a Canadian.
Yeah, he definitely played a game.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
So we've got a bit of form in that area.
Let's keep it going. Who else can we get from the fantastic North American country that is Canada?
That's a dangerous ball, but straight to the waiting arms of Gardner. He throws this one in the Chambers direction. Oh, a dicey touch from Chambers, but did a pretty good job bringing it back under control. And now will burst forward and provide an option. Unfortunately, he was put right behind her, though. Turned over straight back to Calder.
Fourth official there just wants to go and knock VAR out of use for the game after this. I won't be terribly offended, as that's getting in the way, as Chambers using her body well up against Taranto.
I don't think too many fans would be disappointed at that, given the reception it seems to have.
Don't think so either.
I think the only thing less popular would be the short left Super League, which fans have already put an end to. Well done, football fans. Very proud of the footballing community this week, the way they rose up against the scandalous plan of your team, Paul, as this one's whipped in behind to Grover, trying to get in there. But Kanagaisa, well, I thought she'd done a good job boxing her out, and in the end, still got a cross in. Michael puts it behind.
DK had done just enough there, but the toe in from Grover. Michael having to knock that one out of play, and yeah, look, really glad that didn't come to fruition, that nonsensical plan. The token line about they're going to do the same for women's football at the end of that initial press release probably wasn't a great move either. And so we'll see how Tasmania go defending this corner. We saw one in the under-19s come to fruition for Calder United. And there's a huge gap around the penalty spot to aim for. This one goes over the top of the keeper and cleared by Ellie Crop. Kane having a swing at goal. Choi trying to pass it out from defence. Now Withers. And they're bailed out there by the foul on Leah Gubb.
Something to be said for just clearing the area at times, I think. And trying to play cute little short passes inside the box when there's about 8 bodies around.
I'm a big fan of having one of each in a centre-back pairing, you know, to use after you just, you know, I want a Ferdinand and a Vidic. I don't want two of the same. I want one person who just wants to lump it and one who can be a bit more cultured on the ball.
Silk and steel.
Yes. As all ahead lays that one short, and Calder now try to counter Sinclair. Thought Grover was firmly on a bike. Maybe Gardner in goal in the first 12 minutes this half. Hasn't had a great deal to do. Certainly less than Atavi had in the first half, as Gubb can't quite find Lucy Reimer. Appears to have drifted over to the near side, switching with Maddie Chambers. Defence there from Tasmania, forcing Calder United back. Ball forward towards Taranto. Will eventually get it back after O'Brien dug that one out of the ground. Say Taranto, Melissa out there at the moment. Haven't seen sister here in this second half so far, as it's a great last-ditch challenge from Olahead. As the artificial light comes into play at UTAS Stadium, about sunset here in Tasmania around this time.
Yeah, hadn't seen Olahead play before. I believe she was beachside in the championship previous seasons, moved across to Olympia this year, but I can see why they've picked her for this squad. Looks very composed back there.
Yeah, it was a bit of shock on Summer Cup final day and ended up at centre-back, having never really played there much in her entire career, either back at home in North America or here, as Withers now charging forward. Does get past Olahead. Good advantage played by the referee and dumped home by Grover for a third. Wonderful play on the wing from Withers. Great near post run for Grover, and that makes it 3 to Calder.
That's a super finish. That is a great little run the first time hit. Pretty tough to defend that, and Tasmania brought undone here as they just started to dial up the pressure a little in this half. Some nice work. It's a really intelligent run, just gets in front of Kanagaisa, just lost out there a little bit to DK. And that's a very slick move from Grover. Really intelligent play. And that's probably Kanagaisa having not played a heap in defence before. got the athleticism, but just the awareness not quite switched on there to what was a perfect run.
Yeah.
And the service, delightful. Very hard to stop that. And Tassie looked to go on the attack immediately through Chambers back the other way. She wanted to get on a left here. Couldn't do so.
They done their homework, Calder United, or just even based on the first 60 minutes. Chambers wanted to get there, but now White inside the box who has a shot. And we'll roll out for a corner. So a chance for Tassie to build some pressure, but that run from Grover, we had the perfect view of it with that camera. Looked to go back post and then just planted that left foot, cut inside. And if you put the ball there, you surely want your striker to score. Just drifting, and bang, goes near post.
There it is.
Not much the keeper can do from that far out.
Gallagher thinks, I've got you covered, You made the back post run, I'm in front of you, and then ghosts in behind with a darting run. That is perfection for a striker, really. And the finish with a blom.
This one goes towards the back of the box, trying to get it. A touch on the right boot, and now it's second attempt for Chambers. I think it was Lucy Reimer there on that occasion. Set up nicely. And Chambers had a proper go at it. Maybe it was all ahead as well.
It was all ahead.
It was all ahead. Looking very similar in the box in there, but a great chance for Tassie. And now Grover returning it to Withers. Good challenge from all ahead. Just finishing that point before. Does look a handy play, Kate. I also hadn't never seen her play till about March. Very composed on the ball, and does what I find a lot of the players from who've played in the American college system are always very good at turning sharply on the ball. We've seen plenty of them come into the Women's Super League over the last few years, and as soon as they get the ball, they're just very good with the ball close to their feet. I've noticed is now allow the ball down the sideline towards Grover. Withers making a darting run, but that one harmlessly into the side netting on this occasion. And I reckon just seeing the subs warming up, we're probably going to have about one soon, and we are.
They've just re-established themselves in this game, haven't they, Calder? As we have a look at the chance to all ahead here, did really well to control it. That's a very nice piece of shot blocking. Great defence from Calder there, slamming the elevator doors shut as Hasten comes on, and they pull another switch for the final 30 minutes. But after a bright first 10 minutes here from Tassie, we're falling back into a familiar pattern from the first half. So I think Western United scored by it, but just rocked up on pitch. Bottom left hand of your screen there.
Definitely looked like Andrew Durante standing ahead of all of those players, and they were in that part of the ground on Saturday. Staying during the whole week, Western United, the A-League side. Big family day on Sunday. Golf day on Monday as well. As definite foul there on Annie Michael.
Yeah, hopefully she's all right. Just staying down there is Michael. It was a pretty cynical block, really, and well, knocked it past her quite nicely, and hasn't moved, concerningly. It's Hasten, who's just come on, has made her presence felt immediately, and hopefully that's not the end of Annie Michael's day, because she's been just about Tasmania's best. Certainly has looked very comfortable out there, and just thought she'd knock it past, and yeah, just gets cleaned up in the end there.
Just hope that's a corky or something similar to Annie Michael. TK and Allhead showing some concerns. As we're seeing Western United heads in front of us. Concerning for pretty much the best player in the state over the last few years in Annie Michael. One of the few players who played in the last Tassie State game in 2017. Bass Strait Cup between Tasmania and Victoria that we used to have.
Left leg or left knee type issue. That's a good sign. Scooting off the pitch. Presumably will be replaced, but wouldn't have thought she'd be doing that if it was anything too serious. So that's probably a positive sign there for Annie Michael, and fingers crossed for her.
Maddie O'Brien looking prepared to come on.
Slot right back into centre back. A bit of a lull here midway through the second half.
Substitution, we can actually put the graphic up for, and it's just one player as well. It's not a Another 5 or 6 player subs that we've seen a few of here this evening. There's DK. Goes towards Chambers. Now Robinson. Another one of the Tasmanian players here from overseas, hailing from Liverpool. Robinson's continuing our run centrally and just about being picked out there by Lucy Reimer.
Took some good defending from Dakic.
Plenty of the northern Tasmanian players on show in this attacking area at the moment. Robinson, White and Reimer, all based in the north or northwest of the state. As the throw in falls towards Choi. Tries to get it towards Robinson, who was caught in two minds. Didn't know whether to dink it to Chambers or have a shot. And in the end, kind of dinked it straight to the keeper.
Yeah, split the difference between the two options in the end there. But she's a positive impact, Robinson. As Tasmania looked to win the ball back through Choi, but again, it's just a bit too much on that one for Jasmine White, making the bursting run. Nearing the halfway point of this second half, so don't be surprised if we see one of those 5 or 6 player subs in the offing, as they did at the 23rd minute mark of the first half, Tasmania. We might see changes en masse again. As Calder playing it up the left wing here and doing so quite nicely. Some nice work from Hayson. Left it back for Sinclair. First half brace from the skipper. So firmly in the ascendancy. White battling away with Byrne. Byrne wins that battle. And then just turns back inside. There's plenty of time, but ended up turning it back over. And can they make something happen here? That's a clever ball over the top to White. It just held up though and allowed the defence to get back. White now retreating back to Chambers. Chambers, I think, was going for a very optimistic shot. That was blocked off. Might get another crack at it, but the strength and size of Dakic meant Chambers was never getting through there. O'Brien now under pressure from Robinson. And then able to play it out wide is Burns.
I think it's about time for Tasmania to make one of those subs anyway, as a few players looking a little tired out there, obviously on the big pitch, more high intensity game than they're used to. That's good tracking back from Chambers. Now DK. Fall towards Robinson. White staying on side here. Touch. He's all right, taking her a little bit away from goal, trying to get in front of the defender, waiting for another runner. It's only Lucy Reimer at the back post. There is an option all ahead. Crop battling away against Withers, who has got the assist in this half, but hasn't seen too much of the ball, certainly compared to the first, where there was just attacking runs coming everywhere from Harriet Withers. As we will see a substitution being made, and right on cue, it's another 5. No, it's 6. We finally have a 6-pack.
Yeah, the 6-pack. So Nichols, Crop, Nellis,
Laura Davis, Emily Nellis,
Donnie Davies. Yeah, a lot. A lot of new faces going on. And Marmion, I think, was the one we missed there.
with the headband, Lou Marmion running over to the far side. It'll be Marmion all ahead.
Does it just get darker?
Yeah, that's why I was talking about the lights about 10 minutes ago. That's when my eyesight tweaked. There's one through towards Grover. On the top of the box, sitting nicely, going over the top and onto the crossbar. I thought that was dipping in over the head of Olivia Gardner, but thundering off the crossbar. Great shot there from Byrne. There's a few of the Western United active fans enjoying that shot there, rattling the crossbar.
Yeah, keeper was beat, but the crossbar wasn't. Not too far away though. Grover has really risen as a threat in this second half and caused some major problems for the Tasmanian defence, and they'll take this short to O'Brien. Just puts it in near post where Grover was making a run. They'll go again as this one's O'Brien. Sasita, who we saw in the under-19s game earlier. And just helping the Falcon in the process of blocking that was Chelsea Dolwell, who was another one who just came on in that mass subbage.
Was trying to read out the entire defence and didn't even get a chance to do that. But yes, Chelsea Dolwell, the defender. As he moves forward, we'll try and work out. It does seem like they're Everyone getting electronics. We have a look at that shot. I was convinced that was dipping in underneath the crossbar. As again, Calder United with the corner kick going towards the back stick, rising high. There was another substitute in Eki. Turn Grober over the head of the keeper. Grober might still get there, but goes out for a goal kick. So 70 minutes gone here as we're pretty much under total artificial lighting here at UTAS Stadium. 3-0 to Calder United. I certainly think Tasmania have put up a much better showing here in this second half. There's Gardner. There's that one looking for Dolbell. Gets a touch and then a pretty decent shove in the back. Hamilton not even laying advantage. And that one cleared out there. James Hamilton clearly using some of his futsal refereeing skills there and rarely playing fouls into the back.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience, fellas. I've seen Jasmine White do that move successfully a number of times where she closes down the outside with her speed, blocks the clearance, then runs onto her own block. She's really good at that move. Didn't quite work on that occasion, but gee, I've seen her score some goals doing that down the journey.
Absolutely.
You just think, hang on, she was behind me a moment ago. She's that quick, suddenly she's flung out to your right and gets the block on. As Tassie look to attack here and find a consolation marker, and it's played forward by White. It's a dangerous little ball for Bonnie Davies. Two speedsters combining, but the defence once again been pretty rock solid from Calder today. They've not really given them much.
No, they haven't, but handy pace unit to have to end a game. Bonnie Davies and Jasmine White, as this time it's Zoe Nichols with the shot. That one well over. It was pretty sure that either Wellington or the match officials walking behind the goal there. So we had two balls on the field there temporarily as Della Ostate gets a rare touch of the ball. It's quite a good pass. All ahead. Well, Matty O'Brien, that is, back there, going safety first, who came on for Innie Michael just before. Looks like Olahead's pushed up into defensive midfield. Position we've also seen Matty O'Brien play a fair bit in the past. It's now Byrne. Cross coming in. Time here for Zoe Nichols to turn. Robinson sticks her hand up and wants the ball. Goes towards White. Now gets through to Robinson. Touch might just let the Calder defender get the right side. Knocks it out for a throw-in. Chelsea Dolbell. Robinson. Recognised that the ball over the top's the best strategy here, and Davies manages to get there, and White at the near post. Maybe just a bit too near post there, White. Would have to try and really wrap her foot around that one to get it on goal. But that's looking better from Tasmania. It's Byrne. And just delayed forward. Now Withers. Runners both sides here. O'Brien steaming forward, but Gardner always the favourite on that occasion. Dolbell going forward, but just eluding Robinson there. Good touch there from Coach Chris Hay, making his return to the coach's chair for the one and probably only time this season.
Yeah, I think so.
There's some craziness, shenanigans in the coaching world of Women's Super League here, which doesn't quite spring up as much as the NPL Tasmania.
Now, a bit more stability in the life of an NPL coach. The sacking rate, not quite the same. Fairly short shelf life some NPL coaches have had in recent years. Chris A ruthlessly found that out after a second place finish. It was moved from his position at Zebras after I think they won 17 out of 21 games or something for the year, but fortunately Devonport were pretty much invincible that year for him, and shows just how cutthroat the world of football management can be regardless of the level. You don't have to be Jose Mourinho to be feeling the pain.
Argue Mourinho has certainly had well more rights to be sacked than Chris A ever has.
Undefeated in the European Super League, mate. Only European Super League manager sacked ever. He'll wear that one.
Badge of honour, definitely going on the resume there for the boring one, Jose Mourinho. His chip through ball looking towards White, whose starting position was looked offside and adjudicated that way.
as out of position as Spurs were being in that group of 12, Paul.
Yeah.
That positioning there of Davies, just well out of order.
There's charging that one down. It's Laura Davis. It's a pretty attacking midfield three at the moment for Tasmania. Nichols there as well. Robinson likes to get forward. There's now Withers looking to cross. Cleared by O'Brien. Jasmine White dropping deeper and deeper. Playing it to her former teammate, Emmeline Ellis.
And just going through the squad, a few strikers there. You got Ellie Cropcombe plays as a striker. You got Davis, Choice played as a striker before. Zoe Nichols, Bonnie Davies, Maddie Chambers as an attacker, and then Jasmine White. So you've got a lot of strikers who probably are in your best 10 or 12 players that you need to somehow fit in.
Did you say DK?
I didn't even mention DK, who, is just a defender in my mind now. But yep, she's spent plenty of time as an attacker.
Yeah, look, I do like Chris A just choosing a very attack-heavy squad. Why we haven't rolled out the 3-0-8 formation so far, I don't know. Maybe an option for the last 15 minutes. We have a set piece. What's Tassie? Ola head lurking at the back post. Won't go in that direction. It goes centrally and goes over the head of everyone. Bonnie Davies will chase this one down. Davies dropping the step over. Now Robinson. Likes it on her right foot, does Robinson, and couldn't quite spray it towards Nichols. Delbell. Back to Nellis. Davies offside there, I thought. Yep. Would have been better just leaving that one and hoping it bounced through to White.
So under 15 minutes left now. Can we find a consolation goal there, Paul? We pull something out late. They're working hard. They're pushing for one. You can't question the endeavour, but this Calder defence is looking a pretty tough nut to crack. It's right about now as it's thrown down the line, but a little bit of the sting going out of the contest now too as we get towards the end. A few tired bodies out there. And Calder, I think, will be happy just to see this one out with a comfortable lead.
Calder probably with one eye on the weekend as well, as they'll probably be rolling out roughly the same 11 as they started with here this afternoon, depending on if they get a couple of extra players back from W League duty this week or not. The starting 11 today, 10 of the 11 was just their starting 11 on the weekend. As Delbell lays it back towards Olahead, looking for a passing option. Calder doesn't want it. Eventually win the throw in, but going further backwards. Now Tasmania, that's a handy throw in towards Robinson. The switch is on here if Nichols can play it out wide. Goes centrally towards Davies. Wants to flick it on towards White. And White stealing that off the Calder United player's foot. O'Brien. As the light seems to flicker. Like I said at home, alternating. I'm assuming that's the camera and not a light tower going out at UTAS Stadium.
I'd hope not. You'd hope that the lights would not be an issue there, which would be nice for Tasmanian football for once, as Bonnie Davies gets the ball and turns it over and just hit the deck, but it will be brought back. As, threatening to run on to that one was Chambers.
Well, would be nice for these Tasmanian players playing on surface with actual lights. I mean, it's just such a rarity.
It would be nice. See, it's oval shaped, Paul.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's rectangular at the moment, but yeah, it's got that rounder variety. Yeah, it's usually what gets the
lights money.
Yeah, and every money for everything else. As Delbell hits that one clearing.
I don't think that's changing a little over the last couple of years. We seem to be getting a bit more in that space.
Devonport especially doing very well.
There's another election coming up. And let's
bring
out the spending.
We should say to any Calder fans wondering what we're doing, there is a state election on here in about 2 weeks. So just angling everyone to give more money to this fantastic game.
Been underfunded for many years, so about time we got out here. I say we like I'm still heavily
Yeah.
involved.
You have 13 minutes left of your comeback.
Look, if there's another midweek game some point I might jump on, Paul. Don't think there probably is one.
Well, once the competitions manager listens to this one back, we'll try and get some more midweek fixtures as Withers manages to win a throw-in. I say that as someone who's doing, as if I'm doing multiple games a week or something myself.
I was always a fan of the midweek games early in the season. Lovely weather.
Well, we have our only Friday night game in NPL Tas for the season coming up tomorrow night, up the Launceston Derby. So, it's be an excuse to get a bit more Wednesday action. You know, if it's good enough for Southern Championship 4, why can't we have it in the big leagues?
Especially in the summer months. As Calder looking for another one here, and that one not quite the best delivery of the afternoon. The wind taking hold of that one. Tick towards full time. So this emergency from Tasmania. They're keen to get a goal here before the end, and they're going to pull another double sub here. So Crop is one, and I think is that Leah Gibb the other one? No, Daniel Geezer. No, that's Gubb.
I'm pretty sure that was Ellis.
They switch numbers.
I don't know, but I don't see her at centre back anymore. It definitely looks like Olahead and O'Brien. And hasn't played anywhere else in the last 5 years. Has Calder go on the attack. Dull Bell manages to clear. Nichols. Davies playing the diagonal run. Does look like Robinson's going to be the one Tassie United player to play out the full 45 minutes of this half. Hayson. Here's Dakic. Centre back seems to be moving a bit further forward. Now Corey Kane, the American. He pulled back for the foul by the referee. There's probably a bit of air traffic going overhead. Pretty close to Lonnie Airport is the whole city of Launceston. Had a great view on Saturday of a tram going past and a plane at the same time. It was a very odd sighting while you're trying to commentate as Sakita towards O'Brien. In centrally, well cut out. From Olahead, that looks like
Gubb.
Gubb.
Yeah, it was Gubb.
Yeah.
Thought it was, but I thought I was looking at a 13, not a 15. But it's definitely long bomb layer.
Yeah.
Hasn't had a chance to launch any long bombs this afternoon, so let's hope in the final 10 here.
I hope the ball just sits up nicely about 35 yards out and you'll finally get what we're on about. I've seen. Now, all ahead. Back towards Gardner. Trying to get that one forward. Pressure from Calder. Nichols digging that one out towards Robinson. Wanted to play it out wide, but didn't have too many options. Now Nichols should go the back heel. Thought about it, but the good pressure there from Sakita, the one player playing in both games here this afternoon.
A few tired bodies out there, not a lot of movement off the ball there for Zoe Nichols. She held and held and held and was trying to find something, but I just don't think there's a lot left to give from some of these players who probably wouldn't have played on a pitch this size ever. Just showing a little bit as we near the end of this one. And tired old bodies as Calder 3 goals to the good. They've been stronger side, can't argue with the scoreline. As you've dug in and fought hard in this second half, but end of the day, quality has shown here, and they might not be done yet as O'Brien charges into the box, going all the way, bounces off the keeper, off the post, and did not cross the line in the estimation of the AR. Very close there. I tell you what, we're criticising the VRL. We've had 2 good causes for it in this game.
But let's hopefully go with the assistant referee like we didn't do in the under-19s game and not dramatically declare that over the line when replay showed it kind of wasn't, as Davies manages to stay on side. There's an all to do here, Davies. Plenty of green and black shirts in front of it. Back to Robinson, playing free over at the back post. Oh, Zoe Nichols nearly there. Della Ostate managing to get there first. 2 light blue shirts. Luke Marmion, the other player, striding forward.
Come on, risk the 4-0 to get a consolation goal
surely.
there. 4-0, 3-0, who cares? If someone scores a goal, they can bang on about that for years.
Absolutely, as Nichols trying to do, but not enough pace on that pass. Leah Gubb's lurking at 35 out. Robinson not quite on the same wavelength. Robinson's the other combination of White Sox red shoes as Ola head. Battling against Withers. Digging that one out. Dolbell.
Good strength from Olahead.
Towards Robinson. Sending her teammate a bit of a task there. But yeah, I'd be plonking Leah Gubb right where one of the Tasmanian strikers are at the moment. Just hoping to chip that one over the top.
Problem is they've not really had the space to get any shots away whenever they've been in attack. It's been a pretty suffocating Calder United defence, really. They've shut down the Tasmanian attackers pretty regularly when they have gone forward. They're pushing hard here late on, trying to find that consolation goal. Davies just unable to keep that one in play. So we enter the final 5 minutes of regulation. So Danielle Canagiza set to come on and see this one out.
Don't think I think she'll be one of the more tired bodies, and I think got plenty of run in it as DK gets an early touch on the ball after coming on. Hits it towards former teammate Zoe Nichols for a club side. Nichols still going as Zoe Nichols, but again, that smothering defence. Corey Kane coming back this time. There's Leah Gubb, decides not to shoot. Hits it towards Davies, who was offside there. And we were just talking about Leah Gubb wanting to get on a right peg before. Thought that might be a prime opportunity, but not happening at the moment. It's cleared by Tasmania. And whacked out of play nearly into the bench. Can they get a consolation goal here? Flicked over the top by Robinson. TK trying to press hard against O'Brien and does win a throw in for a side.
Somebody interested to throw their keen here, Tassie, to try and find that late goal. And this is a promising move, but won't come to anything. Half-hearted shouts for handball, but it's very optimistic, those ones. As Calder again repelling. They had been pretty comfortable back there today. It's a quality opposition Tasmanians have found themselves against. A well-drilled unit. As we have said, just the familiarity with each other, a big edge they've had. Pretty tough ask for this Tassie side, having not trained together in the lead-up. They're always going to be up against it, and I think we've seen that. Some nice individual moments, but it's a team game at the end of the day. One has looked much more cohesive out there than the other.
Yeah, a few moments for the Tassie players to cut up and add to their highlight reels on an individual basis, but yeah, just not even having a single training session together other than a trial the other week, because that one's cross centrally, and that's point A is if you've ever played with Bonnie Davies, you know she's rarely going to make the cutback run, always going towards the goal. As Calder United stride forward, it's a lovely ball towards O'Brien. Withers up ahead against O'Brien, looking to still go herself as O'Brien. Withers still lurking and wants a penalty. The referee thought about it and then put the whistle away.
Well done all ahead in the end.
Held the ball up well.
Probably should have been a penalty.
Probably should have been a penalty.
Well done to get away with it from all ahead then. Yeah, it's well, there's definitely a kick on the leg.
That's fine though. As we'll see what Calder do. Take it short. It goes near post. Oh, free header inside and over the top of the crossbar. Well, there was a marking there from the Tassie defence, just jogging in from the back post, sitting on the penalty spot. Really should have put that one on the target. In the end, goes harmlessly over, and in this second half, Olivia Gardner hasn't had a great deal to do in terms of shot stopping in this second half, as Armian tries to get it forward. Now Withers. Cutting inside, looking for the return ball with Withers. It still might fall to her in the 18-yard box, but Robinson tracking back well. Gubb. Where her club teammate Bonnie Davies would be, and that's the pace of Bonnie Davies, managing to track that one down. Nichols waiting at the top of the box. And Nichols had well gone past that ball. A bit of frustration there from two of the Tassie players. Plenty of time.
To be fair, our option out left was offside. So it's Bonnie Davies really had a lot of options there at the end. As Danielle Canagesa's charging forward now. In the final minute of regulation, can Tassie conjure a late goal here? Canagesa's cross is fairly comfortably dealt with. Although they might get a second crack at it here as Robinson rolls it back to long bomb Leah, who didn't quite have the power on that. It was on target, was finessing it back, but never had the power to beat a keeper of her ability from there. As Delosto says, I'll have that, thank you very much.
Yeah, but it was the moment. We'd been calling for it for about the last 10 minutes in that pocket of space. And Delosto also a smidge taller than most NPL or WSL keepers, as the fourth official indicates 1 minute of stoppage time after 25 subs, as O'Brien now going around the outside. Withers decides to hit it there first time. That one out for a throw in. Calder with probably one last chance to get a fourth. They're in no real rush to take it at this point.
Yeah, job done as far as they're concerned. 3-0. Pretty accomplished performance. Has never really looked in doubt. They've controlled most of the game. I think they'll be pretty happy with their work here. Sasita, as we saw in the under-19s, they've got some talent underneath too, as the long-range shot comes in from Withers, comfortably collected by Gardner, who'll have one last launch, and this is last chance saloon for Tassie to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Can they find a late goal? Well, they've turned it over. It's going to make it slightly more difficult, but here goes Nichols. Looks up, plays it forward, intercepted, and that might just be that. Calder United's 3-0 victors here in this exhibition game between the Tasmanian state team and Calder United. Comfortable victors, deserved victors, and at the end of the day, I think probably the fair result in both games here this afternoon, Paul.
Yeah, I think they've both gone to the form that you would expect. Obviously, Calder United, very well-drilled team, and one of the best in Victoria, especially after their fantastic 2019 season. But it's fantastic of them to come down and play the best that those playing in Tasmania have to offer. And I do think the lack of a training session really hampered Tasmania. Not too much cohesion out there, despite some players with plenty of individual talent, but it is 3-0 to Calder United against the Tasmanian women's team. And that'll probably be, as we'll leave you here with the goals and a few highlights. But it really was all one-way traffic here, but fantastic to have another Tasmanian state game. First one since 2017, and hopefully we get plenty more to come. And for Slice of Cheese, my name's been Paul Hunt, joined by Andrew Cooling for the great return. It's been fantastic to have Cooling back on the commentary here for these two games this afternoon. But we'll leave you with the highlights from this game as Calder United are out winners. Sinclair had gone a smidge early, flag stays down. Sinclair, what a save from Atavi. Going for the hat-trick.
Get themselves back into this one. Here's a player capable. It's Maddie Chambers. Slicer, a wonderful ball. That's a great piece of keeping, though, to deny Jazz.
Career on the back at home in North America or here as Withers now charging forward. Does get past Dollarhead. Good advantage played by the referee.
Finish with a block.
This one. Oh, goes towards the back of the box, trying to get it. A touch on the right boot, and now it's seconded. Top of the box, sitting nicely, going over the top and onto the crossbar. I thought that was dipping in.
Here, they might not be done yet as O'Brien charges into the box, going all the way. Bounces off the keeper, off the post, and